Here we are going to do the sixth exercise. See the question on the screen. Write your program to find the multiplication of two matrices. As usual, first we have to form the logic. Thereafter we have to go for program. Before going to form the logic, we must know the rules for multiplying the two matrices. Moreover, the rules for getting the two input matrices. We will see one by one. In computer science, matrix is a two-dimensional array and is used for storing larger set of values. It's also called as grid or structured data. In mathematics, matrices are used in algebra for solving equations. In the field of computer graphics and database processing, matrices are used for storing larger amount of data. From database point of view, a matrix is referred as a table and is having rows and columns. By using matrices, we can do matrix addition, subtraction, multiplication and transpose. Here we are going to do the matrix multiplication process, so we must know the rules for doing matrix multiplication. The first rule is used for selecting the input matrices A and B. See the screen. Two rules are used for selecting the input matrices. The first rule says the column value of first matrix should be equal to the row value of second matrix. And the second rule is saying both matrices must be of the type square. That means both are square matrices. We have to use either one of these rules before going to do the multiplication for selecting the input matrices. For example, you take two matrices A and B. So here we have to do the matrix multiplication of A and B. That means A dot B, dot product of A and B matrices. You consider the order of A matrix is m by n and the order of B is n by p. So before going to do the multiplication process, here we have to check the value of the column value of A and the row value of B. That means both n. They should be equal. Then only we can do the multiplication and we'll get a dot B as the order of m by p. So when this rule, the first rule is applied, suppose the both input matrices are having different number of rows and a different number of columns. Suppose both input matrices are having equal amount of rows and equal amount of columns. That means the matrices, input matrices are of the type square. Then we can do the multiplication directly without checking this because all are equal. So as a rule, you see, you take a sample two matrices A and B. The A order is 3 by 2. That means the matrix A is having 3 rows and 2 columns, and the matrix B is having 2 rows and 3 columns. So before going to do this, we have to check. We have to try to apply the rules that we have seen on the first slide. So here, these two matrices are not square matrices because both are having different number of rows and a different number of columns. So here we have to apply the first rule. So here you see the column value of A matrix is equal to the row value of B matrix. So here we can do the multiplication. So here the first rule is applied. Next you see, here you take these two matrices A and B. Here both matrices A and B are having equal amount of rows and equal amount of columns. So they are square matrices. Here you can easily do the multiplication without checking the row and column values. Next we see the rules for doing matrix multiplication. Here the dot product of two selected matrices A and B is carried out. How the dot product is carried out in the sense all row elements of A are multiplied with the all column elements of B and they are added up. All the rows of A are selected first and all the corresponding columns of B are selected next and they are multiplied. Dot product is carried out in between the row elements of A and column elements of B, and finally the partial products are added up. So as an example, you see on the screen, here I have selected two matrices A and B. A is having the order of 3 by 2 and B is having the order of 2 by 3. That means A is having 3 rows and 2 columns and B is having 2 rows and 3 columns. So in order to do the dot product in between A and B, all row elements are selected. All row elements of A is selected first and all column elements of B is selected next and they are multiplied. As an example, see on the screen. First, A11 is multiplied with B11 and then A12 is multiplied with B21. Okay, then the partial products are added up, and that result, the sum, will become the first row and first column element of the resultant matrix C. Okay, so next A11 is multiplied with B12 and A12 is multiplied with B22. So after the multiplication, dot product multiplication, the products are added up. So in such a way, all the elements of A and B are multiplied by using dot product. So now we know how to select the input matrices for doing matrix multiplication and how to carry out the matrix multiplication process with the help of dot product. So next we have to form the logic for reading the selected input matrices and to do the matrix multiplication by using this dot product rule. By using the rules for doing matrix multiplication, next we have to construct the logic for our program. So under the rule, there we have seen two rules for selecting the two input matrices A and B, and a rule for doing matrix multiplication process, that means dot product. So before going to do the multiplication, we have to read the two input matrices. There we have to impose either the first rule for selecting the matrix or the second rule for selecting the matrix. So what the first rule is? First rule says the column element of total number of column elements on matrix A is equal to the total number of row element on B matrix. So either we have to use that rule or we have to check whether both matrices are of the type square. That means having equal number of rows and equal number of columns. So by considering either one of the rule, we have to select the matrix and we have to give the two matrices as an input to our program. So first we have to introduce the logic for reading the selected input matrices A and B. As a matrix, we know well it contains row and columns. Okay, so within programming, the row elements and column elements are pointed out by using two indices. So here, in order to read the both input matrices A and B, two indices have been used. Moreover, a matrix is having collection of elements, more than one element, so it is to be read out one by one repeatedly. So here we have to introduce a loop process. So here we are going to use two collective loop processes with indices I and J. Okay, I and J. The first loop with the index I is varying from 1 to m, where m is the total number of rows on the first matrix A, and the next loop J is varying from 1 to n, where n is the total number of column on the first matrix A. So within that loop range, the value of A, each value of A is read out one by one. Then the B matrix is read by using two more set of loops. So here the I value is varying from 1 to n, where n is the total number of rows on matrix B, and the J is varying from 1 to P, where P is the total number of columns on B. So within this loop range, the second matrix B is got. So with this, next we have to move for matrix multiplication process. Next we are in the main part of our logic implementation, that means the implementation of matrix multiplication process. So here we have to consider three indices. As usual, the index I is considered as the row index and J is considered as the column index, and here we are going to introduce a new index called K in order to do the dot product multiplication, in order to implement the dot product rule. So here we have to give one by one. First, the I index with a loop is given with a varying range of 1 to m, and next the J is given with a varying range of 1 to n, and the new index k index is introduced with a loop and is varying from 1 to p. So now you see the row is varying from 1 to m, and j is varying from 1 to n, and k is varying from 1 to p. After the multiplication, the resultant matrix C is having m number of rows and p number of columns. Okay, so here you see the main part. See there, the part A of ik star means into multiplication, B of kj is used for implementing the dot product rule. I'm going to explain with 3 cases. So here as a concept I'm saying the A of ik star B of kj is implementing this part. Okay, so the A of ik star B of kj is doing the partial product, and that product is added up with C of ij. So when these whole things are over, all these things are completed, the C of ij is having the sum of products. For example, after the first multiplication process, the C of 1, 1 is having the product of A of 1, 1, B of 1, 1 plus A of 1, 2, B of 2, 1. Okay. So we will do some examples. You consider the index value of I is 1, j is 1 and k is 1. So what's the rule is here you see. This one is the rule for doing the matrix multiplication process. Just you substitute the index values for I, j, k. So here you see, first A of 1, 1 is multiplied and B of 1, 1 is multiplied. Okay, so this part is completed here. Next, after the completion of this multiplication process, so you see on the first screen, the innermost loop is k. So after varying from 1 to p, after the first product concept, k values to be incremented. Okay, both I and j are remain same, that actually I and j are having the same value, that is 1, k is incremented as 2. So now you see, now the value of I is 1 and j is 1 and the value of k is 2. So here you see the value of k is 2. Now this part is doing A of 1, 2 and B of 2, 1, and that one is added up. Already C of 1, 1 is having the result of A of 1, 1 and B of 1, 1. So now both A of 1, 1, B 1, 1 and 1, 2, B 2, 1 are added up. So in such a way, next you see, now as an example you consider the total number of elements on B, that means the total number of columns on A is 2. Now the value is over. So next you consider the j value is incremented by 2, I remains same. So once again k is varying from 1. So now you see, now the value of I is 1, j is 2 and k is 1. Now by substituting the ijk value, this part is carried out. Okay, this part is carried out. That means the value for C of 1, 2 is brought up. Okay, so here A of 1, 1 and B of 1, 2 is carried out. So in such a way, the multiplication is going on. And now we implemented the logic successfully. Next we have to write the program. Okay. With these ideas and logic, next we have to write a C program for doing matrix multiplication. So you just double click on the Turbo C++ icon in desktop. You will get a welcome screen. Okay. You will get a welcome screen. So under that you have to select new source file. So mind it, here you are using Turbo C++ editor. So before going to give a name for your programming file, we have to change the file type as C file under save as type option. So now you have to give the name. For example, I am giving matrix multi. Don't need to give the .c extension. So now you see the directory is opened in full screen view with a blue screen window, okay, for entering your current program. So here you have to start to type our statement. So as usual, the first section is the header file section. In all programs we are using two header files, one for doing input process and another for doing clear screen process. So after that you start to type the program. So here we have to consider one thing. Within C, matrices are represented by using two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so here we have to use two-dimensional arrays for getting two input matrices A and B, and one two-dimensional array for storing the result of the multiplication of A and B, that is C. So totally here we have to declare three two-dimensional arrays, two for getting input matrices and one for storing the result. Next we have to consider an important point. Within C, array size should be mentioned during the declaration part. We cannot use array of any size without declaration. So we have to mention the maximum size of an array during the declaration. Okay, so you have to consider these points. So next we have to declare six more variables for getting the row column values of matrices, and three more variables used on the loop statements. So we'll do one by one. So moreover, here we are going to use integer values for the multiplication process. So here I am declaring three integer two-dimensional arrays. Okay, for example, A with a maximum of 25 rows and 25 columns, and B with a maximum of 25 rows and 25 columns, C with a maximum of 25 rows and 25 columns. So now here we declared the two input matrices by using the two-dimensional arrays A and B, and output matrix by using a two-dimensional matrix C. So next we have to declare variables for getting row column values of A and B, and the loop variables I, J, K used during the reading and multiplication processes. So now you have to start the process. Start to type CLR SCR. Okay, just here I am starting by typing the statement. Enter the row and column value of matrix A. Okay, so here I am scanning using scanf statement for getting the row and column value of A and B. See, %D, ampersand M, and ampersand N. So here I am going to use M for getting the total number of rows on matrix A, and N for total number of columns on matrix B, and total number of rows on matrix B. So after getting this, I am reading the matrix A. Enter matrix A. Here I am putting a /n for making the cursor to next line. Then only you will get a clear view of the input process. So here I am using true loop statements for I is varying from 0. Within C, 0 index is allowed, so that I am putting I less than M, I plus plus. For J equal to 0, that is varying from N. Okay, j plus plus scanf percentage d ampersand a of I j. So now I will write the first matrix by using the two set of loop statements and with the scanf within that range. Next I am getting the column element of matrix B. Enter the column value of matrix B. Okay, scanf percentage D ampersand P. So here I am using P for getting the column value of total number of column elements in B matrix. Okay, so next I am starting to read the B matrix. Enter matrix B. So as usual here you put a slash for enhancing your way of getting input process. So next you start to use the loop I varying from 0 I less than C. Here I am using n because n is the total number of rows on matrix B, and that same n is the total number of columns on matrix A. So here within this program we are imposing the first rule. Okay, for j varying from 0, j less than p, j plus plus. Okay, so here I am reading the value of matrix B. Percentage D used for reading the input variable integer in values, and B of I, that means ampersand B of I j. Mind it, for getting array values also by using scanf we have to use ampersand. So ampersand should comes for reading any sort of values by using the input function scanf. So now we read the value of A and B. You can check it up to this. Okay, just you press F2 and give control F9. See there? Enter the row and column value of matrix A. Suppose I am giving 3, 2. That means 3 rows and 2 columns. Next I am giving the values like this. While entering the matrix values, you follow the matrix ordering. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next see, enter the column value of B. Here it was the column value of B. So here I am giving, for example, 3. Enter the B matrix. Now see there, the matrix B is having 2 rows and 3 columns. So I am giving 7, 8, 9. See there, 1, 2, 3. So now our program is beautifully reading the value of matrix A and B. So now we have to proceed from this point onwards. So with these arrangements, next we are in a stage to do the matrix multiplication process. Even you can put a commenting statement to specify the multiplication part. Multiplication of 2 matrices. So we have formed a logic for doing the matrix multiplications. Here we are going to use 3 indices I, j, k. I, j are used for reading the row and column values of matrices A and B, and k, the new loop index, is used for doing the multiplication process by using the dot product rule. That means all the row element of matrix A is multiplied with the all column element of matrix B. Okay, so here the k is used for that. So you have to implement that procedurally. So I am starting to type I varying from 0 to m, I plus plus. Okay, so like that. For j varying from 0, j is varying from 0 to n, j plus plus. So within that we have to do a little logic. So what that logic is, in order to get the sum of partial product, we have to initialize the resultant matrix here. So for that one, I am introducing a block, that means I am opening cursor. So within that I am initializing the resultant matrix with 0. Just you watch, you will get an idea. Then I am starting for k equal to 0. K is varying from 0 to p and k plus plus. Okay, so within this, see that within this I am doing the multiplication. C of I j is equal to C of I j plus A of I k star B of k j. So now the multiplication is over. So in order to do the summing up process, here I initialize the C of ij with 0. So it's the reason for doing this. So now the loop process is over here. Okay, so now the multiplication is carried out here. Then the next part is printing the resultant matrix. So for that one, 2 loops would enough. So I am starting to write for I equal to 0, I is varying from 0 to m, I plus plus, and for j equal to 0, j is varying from 0 to p, because the order of resultant matrix is m by p. J, just a minute, j equal to 0. Okay, j is varying from 0 to p, j plus plus. So here I am going to use a little trick for printing the result in matrix format. So for that one, once again I am going to group this statement by introducing a block. Mind it, once you need to group a set of statements to be repeated under C, you have to block it. So here I am blocking this. See there, printf percentage d, and I am putting a slash t. So what this one is, it's an escape sequence like slash n, used for arranging the elements with the tab settings. So you will get this on screen. See there, C of ij, here I am printing the result. Okay, then I am giving an empty slash n for making the cursor to move on next line, so that you will get a row by column arrangement. Now I am compiling this entire program. See there, 2, 2. First I am using a square matrix, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I am giving the input matrix. So here also I am giving 2. Enter the B matrix. See there, 5, 6, 1, 7. See there, the resultant matrix is there. Even you can enhance the output like this, just we modify the statement. See there. So after this you have to use a printf statement. Resultant matrix is C is, okay, slash n, you put slash n, that's all. Okay, we will do the example that we have taken already. See there, just a minute. See on the screen. So now we'll give these elements as input matrices and we'll see what we get as the result. Okay, so now the elements that we are going to give is 1 2 3 4 for matrix A and 5 6 0 7 for matrix B. Just a minute. Once again, I'm compiling this 2 by 2, 1 2 3 4 2 5 6 0 7. See there, the resultant matrix C is 5 20 15 46, right? So now our program is working well for doing matrix multiplication. We will take one more. We will do another example. You see, I'm running this program. See there, I'm giving the order of matrix A as 3 rows and 2 columns. I'm giving the first matrix 3 4 7 2 5 9. Next, I am giving the order of column value of B matrix is 3 and I am giving the elements 3 1 5 6 9 7. See there, here we'll get the result like this. So now our matrix program is beautifully following the rules. There are 2 rules used for doing matrix multiplication. So I hope you'll get an idea for doing matrix multiplication by using C language. Okay, so do it and get the result. We'll meet on the next video. Thank you.